talk about our Fire Emblem pipe dreams. Fire Emblem's supposed to come out this year. We haven't got anything on it yet. So we're going to say what we want for the new Fire Emblem game for the Switch. Quinn, do you have any ideas?
Well, first let's shame ourselves on what Fire Emblem games we've played and finished, and just to give a little history.
Yeah, okay.
It's probably not shaming ourselves.
No.
We both have played a lot of Fire Emblem.
I'm a pretty avid Fire Emblem player.
Yeah.
My first Fire Emblem game, I think, was the Wii version, actually, Radiant Dawn.
Yep.
And then I went and played the GameCube
you finish
version.
that one?
I did finish it. I at that time I skipped through, and you probably do this always. I skipped through the entire story. Barely know what happened. I read a lot when my brother played.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a really cool time for me and my brother Paul. We really got close just on that game, and
That's cool.
yeah, so that has some good memories there too, and we talked about it a lot. But and I played the GameCube version, which I loved. I love Ike.
Yeah,
Ike's my man. He's
cool.
He's really cool. Playing him in Smash, like that's I love that he's in Smash as well. And then I played. Oh man, I think I played the 3D. Oh no, the DS version, the Shadow Dragon,
which is a remake of the first one.
And it was okay. It wasn't anything special.
Yeah.
And then I played the Game Boy version, the Sacred Stones. I never played the original.
Okay.
It's just called Fire Emblem on the Game Boy. But then I played Awakening, because when Reggie, I think he said that it was coming to America. I was so excited. Like, I was in a direct, and I heard it came to Japan. I was like, I just want it. I want it. Like, what the heck? Give me another Fire Emblem game, please. Like, and so they finally brought it over, and I fell in love with that game. Like the character development and the support conversations, and just, like the story really isn't that great, but I loved it. I think a lot of it's because I was starving for a Fire Emblem, and I love the being able to pair up with different characters, and I love Chrom and Lucina, like those are, and Robin, like those are just cool characters. And, and then I played Fates, beat Conquest and Birthright, and have not beat Revelation, or I think is that what it's called?
Yep.
And then I just beat Echoes. So I played a lot.
Yeah.
Just haven't played the first one on the Game Boy. So
dang, that's pretty good. Yeah, my first one was Path of Radiance for the GameCube. I famously say that was the last game that I literally just binge consumed, and I was horrible at it. I didn't know the
probably
I was using the high
Titania, like the whole time.
Yep, definitely. And so it was pretty hard by the end, but I beat it and I loved it. And then I picked up the Game Boy Advance games after that, Fire Emblem, which is Fire Emblem 7,
right,
by the numbers, and then the Sacred Stones. And I own those, but I love playing through them on an emulator just because save states make it so much more bearable. I probably played through each of those games 10 times each. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites, I would say.
Yeah. If I could just start this off with anything, it would be to have the ability to save at any point.
Yes.
I love playing classic mode. I don't really like playing casual. I like that feeling of like I don't want to lose anybody.
Dude, you're literally stealing my pipe dream. That's what I was gonna say, but that's okay.
So sorry.
Let me finish.
Let me
finish my list here.
You can.
I have not finished the Wii game. Every time I get to that level where you're fighting in the fog, and you're like trying to escort a little girl, and I just never get past that level, and it's just really hard to go back and play a game on the Wii.
Makai and Dark Knight, huh?
Yeah.
I love that level.
I just don't like it because she always gets killed by somebody I can't even see. And
Makai is one of the best people in that game. Yeah. Fun fact. But
is she?
Yeah, she's really, really good.
But
I never got her very good, and I heard she's one of the best, and my brother Paul played it over again and got her really good, and she's amazing.
I played the DS one a couple of times. Same thing, played it through the first time on the cartridge and then emulate it after that because it's just more fun that way. And played Awakening, played Fates, Birthright, and Conquest, and I have not played Echoes.
Nice. Sorry for cutting you off there.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
So there's 2 games I haven't finished, but I have started Echoes and the Wii one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yes, I agree that saving at any point would be better than casual mode.
Yes.
For people like me and you.
Yeah.
Because I have found myself playing on casual mode just because I don't like resetting my game to keep all my characters and putting 100 hours into a 30-hour save file.
Yeah.
I don't like doing that, but I like the challenge that it brings to keep my character. I would love to be able to save after each turn and give it another go.
Right.
Or maybe even like a rewind feature where you can rewind how many turns.
And Fates actually, they go into that a little bit. They're called like cogs or whatever, and they allow like you have a limited like a number of them.
Yeah, I just didn't dive into them because I was playing on casual.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I got to the very end of the game, and people are dying left and right, and I used all mine up. Like still, I was able to go back to where before I died and fix what I messed up. And so, sometimes you can't see everything, you know.
Yeah.
Like you can't see that your Pegasus Knight is going to get shot by 5 archers. Like it's not really 5. It's usually just one archer that you don't see, and you're watching TV while you're doing it because it's fun to. I love watching TV while playing Fire Emblem. It's one of my favorite things to do. But and you're not like 100% focused. And you just die from some stupid reason, like five units away, and oh my gosh! Like,
I think to make it perfect, I think it would need 2 like save slots, so that you can save after every turn. But sometimes you might have made too many bad turns in a row that you can't back. You should be able to maybe like save, a few turns in when you feel like. I feel like 2 basically save states, but built into the game would be great. I definitely agree that that's the number one thing on my list that I would like to be able to play in classic mode with a little bit more savings options just for the quality of life. I don't think it means you're a worse Fire Emblem player. I just think it means you're not resetting your game as much. Literally everybody that talks about Fire Emblem and plays on classic is resetting their game for their characters. I mean, it's just inevitable.
Yeah, it is. And it is very frustrating having to play the whole thing over again. That like Fates really got me to the point. I played it on hard, which is a complete mistake. I was doing really good the whole time, and it got to a point where I had to be perfect because Fates is punishing.
Yeah,
it'll definitely kill
the
you.
AI is smart in that game. Yep.
It's extremely smart, and it's very frustrating. But to jump into some more pipe dream here, I want to see kind of a different kind of strategic look on Fire Emblem. Like, because usually right now, Fire Emblem goes, there's usually 2 kingdoms, at least for Fates and Awakening, and Echoes. Like, there's 2 kingdoms, and they're fighting against each other. I think in Awakening they might have more, but I can't remember. But and they're just fighting each other, and they just kind of go from chapter to chapter, and you kind of just are pushed to a different spot, and all of a sudden you're in a battlefield again. I think, and this is definitely a big jump, and I'm not 100% if I really want this, but it would be really cool to see them dive into something like this, to choose between like 5 different countries, kind of like in the Wii or the GameCube version. There's a lot of different countries in the continent. There's like Laguz, there's like Dane, there's Crimea, there's some more, and like it would be really cool to choose which country that you were in, and each country has different people, and you get to choose like this. So there's a bad country, and you could be the bad country if you wanted.
Oh wow!
Or you could just be the good country, or it could be like a non like neutral country, and then choose to be on the good or bad side, and like it would change who would have what allies. So like so you're allying with the good people, and it's different countries align with the bad people, and you got to like send your troops off and like make battalions and like name a captain who like upgrades faster or something, make a cool little boost there, give them a cool sword or something, and then you get to choose like how you want to attack a specific like country, and you'd also have to make sure that the allies of the enemy are also like beaten down so that they don't come back, and I feel like there's a lot they could do there, and then have the enemy have like some smart tactics as well, like maybe flank you on the map, and and like at a time where they're flanking you, they're attacking you from the front, and you're just kind of closed in. You just gotta fight for your life, and I feel like it would make for a lot more of like decisions that you made instead of just putting you into this randomized levels. I don't know, but like they try to do that more and more with Fates, giving you some choices, but the major choice was just choosing which side you wanted to be on, you know. But
yeah, and I don't want Nintendo to listen to this podcast, or we'll be seeing 5 SKUs of Fire Emblem for the Switch here.
right
in 2018, because they'd be like, you have to buy this version of the game for this decision.
But I think it would just be some smaller changes, because it would just still be the Allies story mode. It would be 2 stories, but it would change a little bit with who you.
Well, it'd be cool if your yes or your no response didn't prompt the exact same thing in the game in 30 seconds. Like, they actually affected the gameplay, and that would in turn like make the games more replayable. And all that. That does sound cool.
Or even going a little deeper, having like a whole bunch of like knowable characters that you choosing a specific side would give you this selection of characters. Yeah. And you're trying to beat like kind of like in Fates where you fought against the siblings, but have against characters that you would have if you would have decided to be with them. Yeah. But yeah, so that could be very interesting. I would also like, and if this doesn't have to be in the same game, but like it would be cool to maybe even see some more of a like exploring RPG element to the game. They kind of went into a little bit with Echoes, but I would like to maybe see like an up down overworld, like Zelda, like Link to the Past kind of a look, and you kind of explore. You can explore through the worlds. Kind of, I don't know if you ever played. I can't think of the game right now. It's a Sega game, but it's very similar to Fire Emblem, and like you can like recruit different people within the city. It would be cool to have like maybe some side quests that you can go on from talking to specific people. I would really like that. I think it would open up the world a little more, make you feel like you're a part of it, and not just skipping through all the cutscenes, But
yeah, definitely. So for my pipe dreams, I think first off they need to kind of rework the level up system, because it's absolutely stupid that you can level up your character and get +0 to every stat, and then that's frustrating. You could reset the game and get +2 to every single stat. We need to have a little bit more way of rewarding ourselves with leveling up. It just needs to kind of be a guaranteed progression, or maybe some side stories that you can do to increase your character's skills and stuff like that.
Because honestly, I think that it is like randomized, but I think your character gets to the same point. But
oh no, it's definitely not.
You don't think so?
No.
But like, then I would really want to change
it. It's a pretty well known fact that Fire Emblem leveling is very random, and
but like
people reset for leveling stats along with losing characters, like especially when you're playing on the hardest difficulty.
But they might not be as good, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be good though. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to be maybe the top of the top, but like they're still going to be good fighters that can hold their ground.
Yeah, they're still better fighters than others too. Yeah. Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
But like I hate the idea. Like when you just get one stat or when you restart and then you just got like a full like one on everything on all the different stats, and
or your sword fighter gets +1 to magic and you're like, oh great.
Right. Yeah. It's frustrating. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Do you have any other pipe dreams?
I want them to make some more memorable characters, and Ike is an awesome one. There's some really cool characters in the GameCube and Wii version, and I think that the Game Boy version should have some cool ones. But I don't know. I really hope that they can create some unique characters that are really cool, and I think they'll be good there. Yeah,
there's been a lot of like talk flying around that the Switch one is going to be pirate themed, which I like. I don't think that Fire Emblem needs to stay in the, old sword fighting style that it is, and this might be blasphemy to some.
That could be kind of cool
to some people. But I mean, Fire Emblem's had pirates in many of the games already, so that's not
definitely an Echoes too.
But I would be definitely fine if there was Fire Emblem space battles. Like I just think it's the gameplay that makes Fire Emblem good. I think that you could have a Star Wars-esque Fire Emblem. Why not have lightsabers, blasters, and
that'd be fun. That would just be fun.
And Ray's stick as your weapon triangle. I think that'd be sweet. I'm not sold on the setting of Fire Emblem. I'm sold on the gameplay. So I would think it'd be a great just to change the scenery, even just have a more modernized, weapons Fire Emblem as well would be cool.
Right.
Kind of like an Advanced Wars, but make it more Fire Emblem-esque in the gameplay, and that would be cool. I want that.
Yeah, I definitely think like going into maybe a pirate theme, but it would be cool to have like specific ships that like fired and like you have to
like maneuver your ship,
right.
get it up next to their ship,
right?
Like
Or have a fleet of ships.
You're moving your characters and your ships.
Like a character has like is leading a ship,
right?
Yeah, like that would be really cool.
Somebody's got to be steering the ship, and then you got to like put your
archer on the right spot,
right?
And
yeah,
your mages, and
that'd be awesome.
And then you can dock a ship, and then you can actually fight,
yeah.
and have your Pegasus going at it like all the time, and like there's some really cool ideas. Maybe not have it for every single scene, but like to have that be an addition to what they already have. Like, that'd be really interesting. Now, do you want some like major support? Like what would you want with the support? Like is it like similar to Awakening or Fates, or like what are you looking for?
What do you mean by support?
Like the support conversations and like teaming up and.
I think that the teaming up was fine in Awakening, but I think they've taken it a little too far,
right.
and you have to team up to be
right.
viable now.
And Fates.
I'd still stick to I like the Game Boy Advance Fire Emblems and the GameCube and Wii the best. So I'd be fine with taking a step back from that waifu system and the just teaming up, and because it basically makes two characters one. I mean, you have to.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think it needs to move forward. Unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going away because people love that. So
yeah. I like the support conversations, but I kind of like what they did in Echoes more, like because they have a lot of support conversations that are ridiculous and don't help you with understanding anything. But there are maybe it's not necessarily support conversations, but just talking to people in villages and Echoes, like they'll tell you some extra story that you didn't know before, like about specific characters, and that's kind of I enjoy that. I like to explore a world a little more and understand why someone's such a meanie or jerk, like because there are some jerks in Fire Emblem, but it's like but their wife just got killed and all their children were murdered, and it's like that makes sense. I understand why you're a jerk to me, like but like the support conversations, they did it better in Echoes. Like it's like you actually talk to the people, kind of like in the older games. You just talk to people on the field, and just because you fought next to them and they have a little conversation, it's like, oh, that's nice, it's not too much. It was just like a couple of words and you're done. Like not Echoes, but Fates and Awakening, they got to a point where I wanted to read them all, but they were way too long, and a lot of them had nothing to do with anything, and they had like I remember, and one of them, this guy named what's his name, Kenham, or I don't know, he's one of the knights, and he's like super afraid of everything, but he's like one of the best fighters at the time. It's like, why is he afraid? Like he's not. He's amazing. He's so good. It's like this doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. But so yeah, I would like for them to continue some cool support conversation stuff. Keep it to a minimum, but have it be really cool story based, like opening the floodgates for this atmosphere of a story game. So yeah, and bringing back the voice acting, because that's sweet, and some cool.
That's the only way I'll ever pay attention to the story. But I think they're gonna do fully voice activated.
Right.
And to me, my last pipe dream, I like in Fates, I hated the little town hut that you had to like walk around and like feed a fish to that thing, and then you had to go talk to this person, like, and you felt like you had to do it between every battle, and I just felt like it was more crap to do between the battles.
I didn't like that.
Me personally, I would rather like them get like Monolith to make like a big open world where they're like, the next battle is here, and they put a pinpoint on a big open world map, and you just have to run to it, and you can do some questing on the way. It's kind of like, it's a defined map. It's not a completely open world, but you can like go off and
almost like Golf Story.
You can find like
some mini games.
You can find an angelic robe and up your HP, and you can find some other items.
Go to
on the way to your next
battle. All it
battle
does is get you a cool item. Like
but it makes you feel like you're progressing through the land, like you're making progress towards the enemy. You know, I just think like making it a little more interactive between the battles would bring me in a little more than it does now, and it just wasn't fun, that little HUD overworld they had in the Fates games.
And they could go even further and do what they kind of did in Echoes, which I don't think they did perfect. And I'll have a lot to say that in the review. But it would be cool to have like specific enemies that, or almost like a Pokemon thing. We just kind of, you go into a battle,
Yeah.
like just walking around, like I don't want it to be like just randomized, but
like you can grind in the overworld maybe
right.
if you feel like you're behind. Yeah,
exactly.
cool.
I would really enjoy that, and it would make the like going into a cavern be really cool. I would enjoy that game. I'm excited for Fire Emblem to come out. Thank you so much for watching Nintendo Believers Podcast. We really appreciate your support.
If you like what you saw but you'd want to listen to it in audio form, be sure to check out the full-length podcast available from all major services.
Also, be sure to find us on Facebook at Nintendo Believers or on Twitter at BelieversCast and send us some questions there.
If you would like to support our channel, make sure to like and subscribe. But on that note, have a great week. Keep your games close and your families closer.